Urban Lawyer Speaks. I think the legal system is in a very difficult situation in that the country needed a response and needed action to be taken in relation to the riots. So the balance had to be struck as to whether or not the people were severely punished and what kind of message was actually going to be sent out. Unfortunately, what's happened is that the approach has been too knee-jerk, and when people respond with emotions, unfortunately it's not necessarily the best result. There hasn't been proportionality, in my opinion, applied to the sentencing that people have received. Now, the argument is that, well, these circumstances aren't normal circumstances, therefore exceptional sentences should be passed. But what needs to be remembered is that one of the causes or contributing factors to the riots was that people felt a sense of inequality. And if we go back to what happened with the MP's expenses, the message may come across inadvertently that if you have money and you're a politician and you do wrong, you'll be treated leniently, but if you're someone from a disadvantaged background, that the law will treat you harshly. The people that were involved in very serious criminal acts should be punished. There's no excuse. But people that were involved in things that on the scale of seriousness were less serious should be treated in ways which mark the conduct that they were actually involved in. It shouldn't happen. My opinion is that what happens is that you're punishing the family for the act of that one child. Now, the counter argument would be that, well, the family should be responsible for that child's conduct. But what people have to remember is that you need to look at, you know, the behaviour in its context. So, for example, what was the cause of the offending behaviour? Was it an isolated incident? Was it an escalating pattern that could have been stopped earlier on? What involvement, if any, have the family had? Because it may be a case that it's a family that doesn't actually have much contact with the person who's now been the cause of them being evicted. There are many young people that have an address but don't necessarily live there.